Hello everyone. Today, I will introduce to you this instrument beside me. The instructions for using the interferential current magnetic thermal potential therapy device. Today, I will introduce it from 3 aspects. Firstly, it's the standard equipment list of this instrument, its appearance introduction, and its for functions and instructions for use. Okay, next, let's take a look at the standard equipment list of this instrument. First, there is a main unit. 3 pairs of interference pads. 3 electrode connecting wires. A single-pass potentiometer and magnetic cushion. A temperature magnetic connection cable. A potential connection cable. A power cord. A detector. And a user manual. The above is the standard configuration list of this instrument. Next, I will introduce the appearance of the instrument. Let's first look at the front of this instrument. We can see the top area of the instrument first is the LED display area, which is the display area of our functions. The middle part of the operation panel, which is the operation area of our main functions, and the bottom part is the interface area for our main functions. Next, let's look at the back of the instrument. From left to right, they are the power connection port, the power switch, and the connection port for local treatment. This is the appearance of this instrument. Next, I will introduce the core part of this instrument. That is, the introduction of its 4 functions. First, we need to connect the instrument to power. Take out the power cord and turn it on. After connecting the power cord, turn on the total power switch at the back of the instrument. Okay, there will be a voice prompt. After the voice prompt, we can first set a timing operation. Click the timing button on the operation interface. Set for 10 minutes. When the timing time is less than 1 hour, each press of the timing key will add 10 minutes. Set for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. When the timing time is more than 1 hour, each press of the timer button will add 1 hour. Set 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours. The timing function of this instrument can be adjusted to a maximum of 8 hours. It also has a power-off memory function. That is to say, after the instrument is powered off and restarted, it will also retain the previous timing operation. Next, I will introduce the first function of this instrument, potential function. The accessories required for the potential function are potential magnetic thermal cushion and magnetic thermal connection wire. Next, we connect the cable to the potential magnetic thermal cushion. After connection, insert the other end of the connection into the potential output port of the instrument. After the connection, click the potential key on the operation interface. The potential function is turned on. How to check if the potential function is turned on? You can use our electric tester. If you hear this sizzling sound, it proves that our potential function has been turned on. How to operate to turn off the potentiometer function? First, we click on the potential key again on the operation interface. It has been turned off. Besides this button, you can also click the Start-Stop button. It will also stop running. If you want to resume, You can click the Start-Stop button again, or the potential key. When using the potential function, if you want to use local therapy, you can choose our local therapy head. Connect the end of the local therapy head to the back of the instrument. The local output port is loose. After the connection is successful, click the potential key to start the potential therapy. So, what are the methods of using the local therapy head? Firstly, you can use the dot, line, spiral, and circle methods. The time interval between points is 0.5 seconds. When using the dot function, no more than 5 minutes in the same area. When using the sliding and spiral rotation method, no more than 10 minutes. When using the local treatment head, you should not use it on temple and injured areas. That's the operation introduction of the potential function. Next, I will introduce the use of high-frequency function. The high-frequency and potential function use the same accessories. Potential magnetic thermal cushion and potential connection cable. Just insert it into the high-frequency port of the instrument. Okay, next, we will turn on the high-frequency function. Then, on our control panel, click the high-frequency button. Now the high-frequency function is enabled. How to turn it off? You can click it again. High-frequency function. It's turned off. In addition to this button, you can also click the Start-Stop button. It can also stop the high-frequency function. This is the introduction of high-frequency function. Next, I will introduce to you the third function of this instrument, magnetic thermal function. The accessories needed for the magnetic thermal function are magnetic thermal cushion, thermal connection wire. We need to pay special attention that the head of the thermal cable is wide, so when we connect it to the cushion, we also connect it with the wide mouth. Okay, the seat cushion is now connected successfully. Connect the other end of the cable to the magnetic thermal output port. Okay, it's now connected successfully. We click the magnetic thermal button on the operation panel. Click the magnetic thermal button. At this time, the function is enabled. We can use a small magnetic bead to verify whether the function is enabled. Okay, we can see that. The magnetic bead is jumping up and down, left and right, which proves that it has magnetism. Next, we can adjust the temperature of the temperature function. Click the temperature function on the operation panel again. Low heat. It has 3 settings: low, medium, and high. Representing 37 degrees Celsius, 45 degrees Celsius, and 55 degrees Celsius. So how to turn off the temperature function? Just on the operation panel, click it again. The magnetic thermal function has been turned off, and the magnetic beads are no longer jumping, which proves that the function is turned off. Meanwhile, the magnetic thermal function can be used simultaneously with potential and high frequency. Let's take out the potential connection cable and connect it to the cushion. Okay, the potential connection line is connected. You can insert the other end into the potential port or high-frequency port. In this way, so that both functions can be used simultaneously. Next, I will introduce to you the fourth function of this instrument, the interference electricity function. The accessories required for the interference current function: 3 pairs of galvanic electrode patches, 3 electrode connecting cables. First, we connect the patches to the connecting wires. Connect the 3 pairs in turn.
好，接下来我们
Next,
将
we will connect the
电极
other
连
end
接
of the
线的
electrode
另一
cable
端
to
分
the
别
instrument's
接入仪器的 A、B、C
and C
3个
output
输出
ports.
口。在这里
Here
我们
we
要
need
注
to
意
note
啊，
that
在我们
on the
的
other end
连
of
接
our
线另一
connecting
端是有
cable,
箭
there
头
are
的，把箭头
arrows
的标
with
志
the
朝
arrow
上。
pointing up. Like this,
这样我们的
our
连接线就
connection
已经
cable
连接
is
成功了。
successfully connected.
我们
We
可以
can
看
see
到
that the
A 连
orange
接
color
线对应的
corresponds
是
to the A
橙色
connection.
，B
The
连
B
接线
cable
对
is
应的是
corresponding to
黄
yellow.
色 C 连接
C
线
is
对应的是
corresponding to
蓝
blue.
色。为
Why
什
do
么
we
要
need
区
to
分颜色
distinguish
呢？
colors?
是因为在
Because in the
后续的
subsequent
将贴
process
片
of
贴入
attaching
到我
the
们的
patch,
部位身体
body
部位的时候，
parts,
需要
we
进
need
行
to
交叉
cross
进
them.
行。好，我们
Okay,
接下来
we will
会演示
demonstrate
一
it
下。
next.
在这里呢，
Here,
我们
we
需要
need to
注
pay
意一下
attention to
贴
the
片跟
distance
贴
between
片之间的
patches.
距离要
Should
保
be
持
kept
在
at about 2
2 厘米
centimeters.
左右，不能
It
太
can't be
远，
too
也不
far
能
or
太
too
近。
close.
接下来呢，
Next,
我们
on
在
the
操作面
operation
板上
panel
进
to
行模
adjust
式
the
和
mode and
直播的
shock
调
wave.
节。首先，我们
First,
先来调
let's
节模
adjust the
式。
mode.
在我
Find
们的
the
操作面板
prescription
上找
button
到
on our
处方按
operation
钮
panel
进
to
行调
adjust
节。
prescription to prescription 3, 4, 5, and 1.
好，我们的
Okay,
模式
our
总共
mode
是
has a
1
total
到
of 1
5
to
档。
5
那模
geared
式
1,
1，也就
which
是
is
处
the
方1
default
是它的
mode.
默认模式。好，接下来我
Okay,
们来调节
now
它的
let's
激
adjust
波
the。shock wave. The
激
shock
波它
wave
是
is
从
from
2000
2000
赫
Hz
兹
to
到
6000
6000赫
Hz.
兹。2000
2000
赫兹
Hz
为它
is
的
its
默认模
default
式
mode.
使用
Users
者
can
可以
adjust
根
the
据自
intensity
身的承受力，对于
to
我们
adjust
激
the
波档
shock
位
wave
进行
level.
一个档位的调
The
节。
intensity
干扰
of the
电的强
software
度
has
有
60
60档，
levels.
上面
Up
是
is
加，
plus,
下面
below
是
is
减。
minus.
每
Each
按一
press
次干扰
increases the
电加，
interference intensity by 1.
就
Will
会增
increase
加
by
一
1
档。
gear.
每按
Press it
3
3
次，
times to increase the intensity to 4.
上
The
面的显
intensity
示
of the
屏
display will
强度
increase
会
by
增加
1
一
level.
格。在
When
使
using
用
the
干扰
interference
电功
electric
能的时
function,
候，电位、
potential and
分磁、
magnetism
高周波
and
功
high
能
frequency
都不能
functions
够同
cannot
时
be
使用。
used.
好，
The
以
above
上就
is
是
the
干扰
operation
电
instruction
磁
of
热电位治疗仪
interferential
的
current
操作
magnetic
教
thermal
程。
potential therapy
希望这个
device.
视频
I
能够
hope
帮
this
助大
video can
家
help you
轻松上
quickly.
手。